Hello, I'm Amber Patterson, and welcome to this edition of Volusia Magazine. In today's program, we'll find out about a new source for streaming music, where to send the kids for spring break camp, and new events at the Ocean Center. And did you know it's not too late for a flu shot? Stephanie Strong, Public Information Officer for the Volusia County Health Department, will tell us more. And then later on in the program, Community Information Director Dave Byron will sit down with his guest, Rob Ehrhardt, Volusia County's Economic Development Manager. Those segments, news, and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. There's a new source for streaming music, your public library. The new service offered by the Volusia County Public Library System through Freegal Music allows library card holders with a PIN code to stream free music from their home computers, tablets, and smartphones.
It's basically keeping the library system on the cutting edge of where other library systems are. Freegal's a very simple for patrons to use. All you have to do is go to our webpage, which is volusialibrary.org. The web page comes up. You can go to Freegal's on the right-hand side. You're just going to go ahead and click the Freegal Music. And we're going to click one more time for Freegal. And then it is going to ask you to log in, which is a very simple process.
Patrons can browse through hundreds of thousands of song titles ranging from classical to hip-hop. The content starts streaming immediately for up to 3 hours a day. Patrons can create and save streaming playlists.
We added Freegal, the streaming component of this, recently. We have one full month of statistics. We have downloaded, or people have listened to 13,000 songs in the last month. In regards to the people that are using it, it's not just kids, it's not just older people, it's across the board.
The libraries have long been a source of audiovisual entertainment, loaning movies and CDs since the 1980s, and introducing Freegal movie and television downloads last fall. Library patrons can also download ebooks and audiobooks from the library catalog. You can learn more about Volusia County's public library system at volusialibrary.org. Some new businesses and some longtime partners are choosing to hold their conventions and events at the Ocean Center Convention Facility. The county-owned facility recently secured 3 significant pieces of business at the Convention Center in Daytona Beach: the Association for Progressive Rental Organizations, the National Reptile Breeders Expo, and U.S. Foods Culinary Expo. The Association of Progressive Rental Organizations, also known as APRO, will bring its conference to the Ocean Center for the first time in May of 2015. APRO is the National Trade Association for the rent-to-own industry. Approximately 600 owners and top-level management of the rent-to-own companies throughout the United States will attend. The National Reptile Breeders Expo returns to the Ocean Center August 15th through 17th. This is the 25th year for the Expo and the 15th year it's been at the Ocean Center. The Friday and Saturday portions of the Expo are open to the public and will feature hundreds of exhibits of captive-born snakes, spiders, lizards, amphibians, and turtles, along with herpetology memorabilia, books, and supplies. U.S. Foods will hold its 2014 Spring Culinary Expo for industry professionals at the Ocean Center on April 15th. More than 1,200 professionals are expected to attend this regional expo, including 400 U.S. Foods customers. This is the 3rd year U.S. Foods has chosen the Ocean Center for this expo. Ocean Center Director Don Poor said the facility is continuing to book new business in the convention facility.
The facility is a world-class convention center that was just refurbished and added to back in 2009. That gives us about 500,000 square feet of space. We're 400 feet from the Atlantic Ocean. The climate here is incredible. The entertainment in the entire area is great. Many day trips around here. Our customer service, I think, is outstanding. All of our folks have been Disney Institute trained for customer service. So I think it's just a lot of things together. The hotels and the other products that we have in the general area are a big plus for us.
For a complete list of upcoming events, you can visit theoceancenter.com and click on the Events tab. Why wait until summer to have fun at camp? Children can enjoy group activities and field trips with Volusia County's spring break camps, which are being offered across the county the week of March 24th. The Parks, Recreation and Culture Division is planning 3 week-long camps at Strickland Park in Daytona Beach, Gemini Springs in DeBary, and Mary DeWeese Park in Oak Hill. Children ages 5 and up can take part in playground activities and escorted field trips to kid-friendly places like roller skating rinks and water parks.
The reason we have the spring break camps, it gives an opportunity for the parents to drop their kids off at one of our 3 spring break sites, and it gives the children an opportunity to socialize, create new friends. Also gives them an opportunity to go to some of the local attractions. All these activities are fun things kids can do while they're on break.
Children ages 6 through 13 can experience the natural wonders of Volusia County during a sand and sea camp at Lyonia Environmental Center in Deltona. The learning adventure will include hikes through the Lyonia Preserve, arts and crafts, and a visit to the Marine Science Center in Ponce Inlet. The fee for each camp is $65 a week. Advanced registration is required and may be made by calling your phone numbers on your screen. For the Lyonia Environmental Sand and Sea Camp, you can call 386-789-7207, extension pound 21225. Did you know that Volusia County schools are recognized as a next-generation learning community at the leadership level by the Ford Motor Company Fund, the philanthropic arm of the Ford Motor Company? And as Here and Now reporter Joanne Magley explains, the school system received this honor because of its successful career academies.
The Academy of Agri-Science at New Smyrna Beach High School is one of 34 academies offered through the Volusia County school system. Career academies are small learning communities that combine a college preparatory curriculum with a career focus, and more than 3,000 students are enrolled.
Listen to this young man over here.
What did you say? Elizabeth Harper is the Agri-Science Academy Director.
When I first came to this program, it didn't make sense to me to teach students how to raise pigs on the beach. So it was important to me to tailor this program for our community. So I can teach my students agriculture through fish, through raising sea oats, through raising Florida native plants. And it is the same thing as agriculture as if I was raising corn and pigs. But this fits our community much better.
The students also have an outdoor classroom where they get real-life experience raising all kinds of animals.
So we've got great facilities out there, and the students are welcome to have an animal and raise it out there. Everything is owned by the student. So the student is responsible for feeding the animal, for caring for the animal and making sure that animal is doing what it's supposed to be doing every day, whether it's rain or shine or their birthday or Christmas.
When students enter the 9th grade, they can pick their academy. For AgriScience, all 9th graders must take an Agriculture Foundations class where they learn all about the industry. In 10th grade, they can choose a specific track, such as horticulture, aquaculture, or vet assistance, which is what Micaiah Weep chose.
I've wanted to be a vet since I was like 6, so I've been looking, and this is the only academy, school that has the veterinary academy in Volusia County. By the end of when I graduate, I take my state exam to become a vet assistant. So if I pass it, then I'm already a vet assistant instead of having to go through more years of college to get my vet assistant.
Jeremiah Palmer hopes to become an ag science teacher.
It's a great academy. The hands-on experience we get out here with the animals. I have a market hog, and I come out here, I let him run around in the little grass area he's got, and I clean out the pen, keep it nice and healthy. I feed him. Well, I want to teach agriculture when I get older, and just the experiences that I've gotten out here with working with the animals, and just, it's really positive.
While some of the students raise farm animals, others run an animal-based business, like the doggy daycare, which operates right out of the AgriScience classroom. Students make appointments, communicate with customers, take care of the animals, and keep records of everything.
In this academy, we work very hard to have not only classroom instruction, but the applied project part. And then, of course, we have a student organization that functions as career readiness.
When the students leave high school, they take with them an agriculture background, and in some cases, certifications, such as a vet assistance or with the Florida Nursery Growers and Landscape Association. But just as important, they leave with a wealth of life and leadership skills. For Volusia Here and Now, I'm Joanne Magley.
For more information on career academies, you can visit www.career-connection.org. Flu season is in full swing, and Florida residents need to protect themselves against the dangers of flu. Pregnant women are especially vulnerable to this illness and are recommended to get vaccinated. Stephanie Strong has more information about flu prevention in this episode of Community Health Matters.
Influenza is a serious virus, and women who are pregnant are at higher risk than others of having serious flu complications. Pregnant women with influenza also have a greater chance for developing serious problems for their unborn babies, including premature labor and delivery.
Pregnant women are particularly susceptible to the influenza virus and are more often hospitalized and become severely ill with the H1N1 virus. So it's particularly important for pregnant women to protect themselves while they're pregnant, but also the vaccine, if it's received by the mom, actually protects the baby when the baby is born.
Changes in the immune system, heart and lungs during pregnancy make pregnant women more prone to severe illness from influenza, as well as hospitalizations and even death. The flu is very serious this year, and Florida residents must take safety measures to protect their health.
In addition to the vaccine to prevent the influenza or flu, obviously staying home when you're sick so you're not spreading the infection to other people, but avoiding crowds. And if you are out at grocery stores at all, make sure that you meticulously, compulsively wash your hands, especially before putting your hands into your face, your eyes, your nose, or your mouth.
In order to guarantee that you and your loved ones remain healthy throughout this flu season, be sure to get a flu shot and protect yourself from this serious illness. For more information about influenza, please visit www.volusiahealth.com or www.cdc.gov. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Stephanie Strong, Public Information Officer for the Florida Department of Health in Volusia County.
As always, if you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, you can log on to volusiahealth.com. VolsiaCountyGovernment.com. Time now to head into the studio to join Community Information Director Dave Byron with his guest, Rob Ehrhardt, Volusia County's Economic Development Manager.
Thanks, Amber, and hi, everyone. As 2014 gets into full swing, the economy, both nationally and locally, is on the upswing, and there are no indications of a slowdown. The county's Economic Development Division keeps very close tabs on several key indicators as part of its monitoring of the local economy. We'll talk about some of the economic signs for the fourth quarter of 2013, and we'll find out what lies ahead this year. Our studio guest is Rob Ehrhardt. He's the county's Economic Development Manager. Rob, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Hey, first interview of 2014, so first of four, I guess. You do this every quarter. You provide an update to the Volusia County Council, and then we try to have you on Volusia Magazine. You know, I like to kid you every time we have this interview because you're by nature a relatively conservative individual, and I've asked you every quarter whether you feel like we've turned the corner and we're on an upswing, and you've always said, I'm cautiously optimistic. What are you saying now? You still saying that?
I just learned a new phrase, Dave. It's called guarded optimism.
Guarded optimism.
I have to give credit for that to one of the local builders in our economy, and their home building has looked very positive in 2013. But even them, they've got some guarded optimism.
Let's talk about the local economy in general, Rob. I mean, you just talked briefly about the housing industry, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But when you look at Volusia County, particularly as we look back on 2014 and looking into this year, I mean, really last year was really a pretty good year in Volusia County.
I would agree it was a good year, and I think it was a turning point.
Right.
And again, trying to leave that Great Recession, so-called Great Recession, in the rearview mirror. Labor statistics certainly bear that out. December 2013 headline unemployment 6%. That's down 2% compared to the same time a year ago. We have 5,200 unemployment of 5,200 less than we had a year ago.
Right.
But to be fair, we still have roughly 15,000 people that are unemployed. So if you're one of those, you know, it isn't necessarily looking so optimistic just yet. So I think we can't afford to take our eye off the ball.
Well, you know, speaking about keeping your eye on the ball, they're certainly keeping an eye on the ball over at the Speedway. I mean, you go by there, I went by there today, the cranes are out and they're building steel, and that's, you know, a magnificent expansion project that they're doing at International Speedway Corp. They've announced the project across the street. You know, from what I read and heard, the Rolex race was a record crowd this year. So really in Volusia County, I think it would be not accurate to say that, you know, the Speedway is pulling a big amount of freight right now.
It's definitely a big economic engine, pun intended, in our economy. So when you just stop and you consider that International Speedway Corporation is considering or in the process of spending $750 million on their property here in the Volusia County area, and the impact and the ripple effect that that's going to have in a positive way to our local economy, I think that's absolutely a foundational issue to optimism that we have in 2014 and going forward.
One of the things that your group does is you keep very close tabs on building activity, the permit activity across Volusia County.
2013, the number of permits was up about 78% as compared to all of calendar year 2012. So that in of itself is a reason to be optimistic. A lot of those deals we understand were cash deals. So it'll be interesting to see going forward as maybe some of that cash has played itself out and people go back into a traditional mortgage or financing mechanism, just exactly how that's going to work going forward or what impact that will have on new home construction. And certainly with the historic decision that or event that occurred this week with the first woman being appointed as chair of the Fed and how that's going to impact Fed policy going forward and therefore interest rates. I think we have every reason to be excited looking ahead.
And the value of the permits was up, Rob, last year. I mean, the average home being built is I guess, worth more.
Yeah, if you take the total dollar value of the permits in 13, yes, and excuse me, fourth quarter of 13, and compare it to the same quarter in 2012, the average dollar per permit was up 7%. So in addition to selling more, the dollar value has risen, and for those of us that live here and maybe haven't purchased a home, that has a good secondary effect on property appraisal values, and so we all feel better about where we live.
And DeLand leading the pack.
DeLand continues to lead the pack with
new homes.
I think it's 76 permits in the fourth quarter.
Turning to the commercial side of things, Rob, what do you see on the commercial side for 2013?
Well, you recall that in the third quarter, Dave, we reported that one single permit, back to relating to Daytona Rising, that really put some serious rev and energy into commercial permits for that quarter. So we did not see that same performance in fourth quarter, but once again, the average dollar value of commercial permits in the fourth quarter of 2013 as compared to 12 is up, I think it was about 60%. So every reason to feel good going into 14, and certainly some of the projects that we hear continue to be reported on that are being considered for the area, say across the hotel sector, just starting there with not only new condo hotels, obviously two big projects that have a lot of attention, but also renovation of existing hotels or new ownership of existing hotels and coming in and really bringing those properties up to today's standards. So.
You know, and you know, being in the real estate business is a pretty good time to be in that business. You know, it kind of goes up and down, you know, and one like 5 or 6, 7 years ago, people were making all kinds of money and then the bottom fell out. Now, the sale of existing homes is really, really picking up quite nicely.
It is, and I spent a few years in the United States Navy, Dave. There's a term when you're driving, if you will, a ship. It's steady as she goes. That means you found the course you want to be on, and you want to stay on that course. And I think most of the home builders today feel that way about their industry. There's continue to be signs about maybe some concerns about some of the more skilled positions that would support the construction industry. So we'll have to see how what impact that has over time. But as an industry, construction employment grew, as did manufacturing. In addition to what you'd expect, retail, trade, and leisure and hospitality.
You said you spent a few years in the military. That was like 30, wasn't it?
31, but who's counting?
As what are some of the other indicators, Rob, that you're looking at in Volusia County right now that you feel like are important?
You know, I think just people's general feeling about the economy. So, you know, emotionally, people feel good about it. We continue to see positive signs reported on consumer optimism. For 2012, which is the last year that annual average wage data is reported as compared to the prior year, 2011. Annual average wages are up 3%. And so again, that's more income into people's household and potentially more discretionary decision-making capability for them or more investment potential.
You touched on it earlier, unemployment rate going in the right direction in Volusia County is going down.
It is, 6%.
And the average annual wage doing pretty well, but I guess in some ways pulled by manufacturing.
Manufacturing and some of the professional and services industries that we have, that's up about 24%, a little bit more over a 10-year period. So again, I think we can't afford to take our eye on the ball. We just continue to play fundamental economics in our economy. And we also continue to work to diversify our economy because after all, business is a cycle. And I think you alluded to it earlier. At some point, things will start to, you know, we'll hit a tipping point. Maybe we'll start to decline again. And so anything we can do now to prepare ourselves for that potential so that we're not as affected by decisions that are born from, okay, I'm going to retract my discretionary spending, whether it's nationally or locally.
As I understand it, your group, the Volusia County Economic Development Division, one of your prime responsibilities is dealing with the existing companies, business retention and that sort of thing. And on the other side, Team Volusia is really taking the lead right now in business recruitment. That system seems to be working well now.
From my view, it's working very well, and in particular, there's another element, the CEO Business Alliance, that actually plays across both fields. And so we're very fortunate that those very successful private sector businesses are making the contribution that they are, both in leadership and other ways to help us. And one example of that business expansion, recently Governor Scott held his cabinet meeting in the Central Florida area at a historic courthouse. And during that event chose to recognize just a few companies in the state, and Frontier Communications, right here in DeLand, was one of those companies. I don't know that a lot of people appreciate that it's a Fortune 500 company. It's based in Connecticut, but they have a single position in the state of Florida. That's right here in DeLand. And basically what they're looking at now is to expand by another 140 or so employees, as well as putting additional capital investment into their current facility to provide the space for those employees. And these are mostly technical positions in an IT type capacity.
Right.
So again, they're higher wage, and an example of things that we can do now, or I should say private sector companies can do now to help equip us to continue to just stay on a positive path.
I know, and looking with our good friend Keith Norton at Team Volusia, he's been on the road a lot out there trying to drum up companies to come to Volusia County, and in looking at the reports that he's provided, it looks like there's some number of irons in the fire there.
Keith is definitely a road warrior. I want to say that his team traveled or went to 40 different events last year. That maybe doesn't sound like a lot, Dave, but if you stop and consider there's only 52 weeks in a calendar year,
right,
and you consider that those trips are generally 2-3 days in advance, that's traveling better than 2/3 of the time. And you're right, they've generated some great opportunities, both as projects as well as potential job increases, and they're going to be a big part, I think, of helping to grow and diversify our economy as we move forward.
Rob, your division has a lot of information at its fingertips. You have a brand new website that's been retooled, lots of information on it. For people that perhaps may want to get a hold of you, maybe want you to make a presentation or that sort of thing, or maybe just wants to get some good information, how do they do that, Rob?
Dave, if they want to get a hold of me or someone in our office, they can just call us, 386-248-8048, and to check us out on the web would be www.floridabusiness.org. And you're right, we've recently refreshed that, and we're interested in making that site as valuable to our business community and our business partners as it can be. And so if people have ideas of things that, other content that we can provide on there, we'd be happy to give that some consideration.
Well, Rob, I want to thank you for sharing the information with us. Really, it does look like all things are positive in Volusia County right now. We'll have you back in 3 months, and hopefully we'll be here instead of here.
Great. Thanks for having me, Dave.
Our guest today, Rob Ehrhardt. He's the Economic Development Manager with Volusia County Government. And with that, Amber, we'll go back to you.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you, too, for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. Incidentally, you can find the County Council's meeting calendar there too. You can use volusia.org to find out about meeting dates, workshops, topics of interest, activities, and how you can become involved. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. It's Volusia County Government's weekly radio program. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a wonderful evening.